guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a worth the buy or nah review on the very new Wbt concealers. I'm really excited. I did pick up a few other things from the collection. I didn't pick up everything because I feel like it was unnecessary, but I just kind of want to talk about my package and how it compares to a PR package. So this is the packaging it came in, like this. To be honest, I feel like all this paper in here is like pointless. They should package it a little bit more cleaner and easier because I just feel like this is trash and they could avoid using all this paper to package it, and I just feel like it looks very messy. And my only thing when I see the PR packages compared to the package that the consumer who purchased it is that I feel like a PR package is just so perfect and they try to give the best presentation ever. And then the people that actually purchase it, sometimes their packaging is like busted. Like sometimes it's like crinkled up and just, it looks awful. So I just wish that the thought that they put into the PR packages, they put into the packaging of the people that are actually putting money into your pockets. Now, I'm not saying that we should get the same level of packaging that the PR packages get. I get it. They have to get that because they are receiving that, so potentially they can sell the product to us and then we purchase it. But I just wish that they kind of did it a little bit differently. I just feel like this looks super like ratchet and just not the best. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick out the things that I purchased. So I got the KKW concealer. I'm gonna also take this out. And I'm not throwing shade, I'm just being honest. I'm a huge Kardashian fan, like a really big Kardashian fan. I watch the show all the time. I was just watching it right now. I love Kim Kardashian. I just am reviewing this as somebody that's trying to help somebody who is also using their hard-earned money and potentially purchasing this. So this isn't me throwing shade, this is just my honest thoughts. And then I have my little receipt, and it just has the items that I decided to pick up. So we're gonna see how they work. I did purchase this brush right here. I thought it would be unique to kind of see how this brush worked. But I just wish she kind of learned her lesson from the first sponge on a brush that she came out with and just maybe just did a sponge. I feel like if she would have just done a sponge like this, it would have been so much better and it would have looked really cute and I would have definitely purchased it. So that's just something that I just kind of saw right away. And then I picked up the Wbt Translucent Powder. So I personally don't like to use like a tinted powder, like kind of to be near my color. I just like to use translucent. I'm just a translucent girl fan. I like translucent powders. The powders that I use, the Patrick Star and the Airspun powder, are just translucent and they work really well for me. I feel like especially when you can only find these products online and you may not be sure exactly which one to pick up, it's always best to just go with translucent because you know it's not going to go wrong. You know that it's going to work and you don't have to worry about the shade range. So now that I just mentioned shade range, those were the only three things that I purchased. So I'm gonna move on to talking about the concealer shade range. So she came out with 16 shades, and I saw her trying. I definitely saw her try to kind of really make a shade range that was a little bit better. I definitely think that there's still improvement to be done. The darkest shades definitely looked a little way too orange in my taste. So that's just something that I noticed right off the bat, and it started to confuse me because I didn't know which shade to pick because the shade range, like I just felt like, yes, they swatched them, but I feel like that's not enough for me. I've just been really not into the way that they just literally swatch it on people's hands and that's it. Like they'll swatch it on a darker skin person, on a medium skin person, and on a very fair skin person. What about all the people in between? But I definitely feel like if they had a girl, like every skin tone that they were going for with this concealer, which would be 16 girls and guys too, I would love to see guys on campaigns. That would have been awesome because then I feel like people like myself that are purchasing online could be like, okay, I think she kind of looks the closest to me. I feel like he kind of looks the closest to me. Let me get that one. I know some brands do that. They find a model for every single shade so that you can kind of figure out where you're going to be in that shade range, but they didn't really do that. They just had select few models. And yes, they did have like a big campaign picture with all the models, but like I need close-ups. Like I need some serious close-ups so I can really figure out which one will look best on my complexion. So that being said, we're just gonna move right into it. So the packaging, to be honest, I don't like this packaging at all. I feel like it was kind of lazy of them to do it like this because it legit looks just like the lip gloss. And I know that Kim has that very simplistic packaging. And for some things, it looks very nice, but then for other things, I would love her to do something a little bit different. So for ounces, the KKW Beauty Concealer has 0.162 ounces. And then the Shape Tape has 0.3381 ounces. So it has much more than the KKW. But then again, you are paying more for the Shape Tape. I think the Shape Tape's like 24. This one is 18 by KKW Beauty, which is pretty fairly priced. And then the ColourPop, which is only $5, is 0.14 ounces. So it actually has more in the KKW Beauty Concealer than it does in the ColourPop Concealer. So you get a little bit less in here, you are paying less, and you get a little bit more here. So I guess the product amount isn't bad at all. It's a pretty good size comparing it to the other ones. Of course, Tarte has more, but you're paying more. I think $18 is pretty reasonably priced. Okay, so this says that it is full coverage concealer with ultra creamy hydrating formula, perfect for correcting and highlighting, and perfect for everyday use alone or in conjunction with baking and brightening powders. So I'm using the shade number 6. It is 6 medium with warm undertones. It's actually similar to the colors that I use, and to be honest, when I do apply concealer, I like to really brighten my under eye with the concealer. So I'm gonna be using, let me just try the brush just to see how the brush does. It's a very pretty brush. I feel like it would be great for blending. You can see how fluffy that is. They are very soft, I have to say. Very soft brush. And then it has this side, which I would use this to like put on eyeshadow. But I'm gonna go ahead and just blend it out. It's blending out very nicely. And I feel like the color definitely brightened my under eye a lot. And I like a very bright under eye. Some people may not like that, so I completely understand, but I personally do like a very bright under eye, especially when I feel sick, which I'm kind of sick right now, and when I feel like I need to like look really wide awake. I would definitely say don't like go too hard with the brush, like too hardcore. You definitely want to kind of like be very gentle, or else it is going to break apart, because I just kind of accidentally just brushed it down and I did feel like it kind of broke apart a little bit. So you definitely want to go very, very light as you are going on that under eye. You don't want to pull too much. So I'm going to go ahead and take the translucent powder, and this is what it looks like. I do like this packaging for the translucent powder. I feel like it looks very nice and sharp. I wish it was bigger. It definitely looks much whiter than my other two powders, but we'll see what happens. And then for setting, I have to use my Morphe sponge. This is like my holy grail. And I'm just going to apply that, my under eyes. Very pigmented, goes on very quickly. Let me actually take a little bit of it and just kind of feel it. Yeah, it feels fine. It almost feels very velvety. Like once I rub it into my fingers, it just feels very, very velvety. So that's a good thing. I really quickly want to see how much powder there's in here compared to my Airspun and my Patrick Star. Okay, so you have 1.23 ounces. This one has 1 ounce. The Patrick Star one has 1 ounce. So you have a lot more Patrick Star. And then the Airspun, you have 2.3 ounces. And this stuff by Airspun is literally $5 at Walmart. So now while that bakes, I'm gonna go ahead and take the concealer. Very creamy. It does kind of remind me in consistency of like a little bit more on that thicker side of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. That's what it's feeling like. It definitely has more pasty kind of feel, and the scent kind of smells like clay. So for this eye, I'm going to be using my sponge. I definitely feel like this consistency is a little bit more on the thick, like kind of drying side, where if I were to make too much movement with my face, I feel like it would break apart easily. So this is definitely a concealer that you're going to want to set if you crease easily, because if you don't set it, that creasing will be there to haunt you all day. So we're gonna let that bake. I like to usually let it bake for like 5 to 10 minutes and just do everything else. Now I do have to say, I did not purchase the brightening powder because here's the thing. I like to use a very brightening concealer. So I feel like when I used to add a brightening concealer and then I used to add a brightening banana powder at the end, I looked like a hot mess. I just didn't get it, and a lot of people have been talking about how it's so tiny. I'm just gonna highlight our face. So for this, I'm gonna be taking my sponge because I feel like this brush is a little too small. Maybe for my nose contour, like for me highlighting contour my nose, it'll work well, but I'd just rather do this for this stuff down here. So definitely brighten here where I like to really highlight the high points of my face. But I do have to say it's blending out very easily. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and just clean this up. Actually, you know what? Let me use the little brush that I have because I feel like for this it would work because your nose is much smaller. So if you have like a really big sponge and you're trying to get in the middle, it won't look the best. I am gonna go ahead and contour my nose a little bit, but do you see? That definitely made a difference. I actually like this brush. I'm not gonna lie. It's not bad for underneath. I was like, this is gonna be a bust. Because when I saw it, I was like, this is totally like for eyeshadow, like really blending. But this is really working well for the nose area. And also it worked well to blend that side. There wasn't much of a big difference. And now I'm just gonna take my brush by Morphe and dust away that powder. The powder is very drying, very drying. It's like kind of breaking apart some of the product right here. And I think it has to do with the fact that the concealer is a little bit more that thicker consistency. So when you put on something thick and then you put on something that's gonna dry it out, it's gonna like dry it out. So there's a little bit right here. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's breaking apart just a little bit. You can definitely tell that I have powder. So for somebody that has, dry skin, I would not recommend you using this powder on top of this concealer because it's definitely drying. I want to see if the creasing is going to come back because I just feel like it's going to come back. So I'm definitely going to update you guys throughout the day. Hopefully there's no creasing, but I just feel like it definitely mattified that area. You can see right here compared to the rest of my face is looking very matte. So if you guys have dry skin, do not use this powder because it's gonna dry it out. And it's interesting because this is definitely very nice and velvety and smooth and soft compared to the other ones that I have, but the other ones don't leave me as dry as this one did. KKW Beauty, what are you doing? We're gonna have to see how this works for the rest of the day. Okay, so I am back. It is now 8:30 p.m. and it's been a long day. I'm wearing a jacket because I'm currently freezing my ass off. I think I'm getting sick, so pray for me that I don't get sick. But I think I have some good thoughts on the KKW concealer kits. So first things first, I do have to say the concealer definitely ended up setting nicely. It doesn't look so dry now. I feel like it looks more of just a normal consistency. I do feel like it has to do a lot with the fact that I am an oily skin girl. So I feel like the oils were able to kind of like shine through just a little bit, just enough for it to not look so dry. But overall, I do have to say that I feel like the concealer isn't bad. I feel like it's a nice consistency. It's like a nice thicker consistency. It definitely does do a good job of really covering. And I was really surprised with how well it blended. Now, do I think this concealer by KKW Beauty is life-changing? I don't think it's like Tarte Shade Tape where like everybody was freaking the F out. But I do have to say I give them props for making a concealer that's pretty affordable, and considering the fact that it's supposed to help with anti-aging and like fine lines and all that stuff, the fact that they kept it at a pretty reasonable price was pretty awesome in my opinion, because I feel like it's hard to keep things at a reasonable price when you're using ingredients to help with other factors like anti-aging. So I do give them props for that. I wish this packaging was different. I know she's all into like the simple situation, but I just feel like it's kind of lazy because it literally looks exactly like the gloss. Exactly. And I feel like this is gonna go by so quick, considering the fact that I feel like so many people are gonna use like a lot of it. People that do their makeup on the regular or people that love concealer use this pretty quickly. As for the powder, I don't think this powder is worth it. I think that this concealer is going to perform better with my Airspun powder from Walmart, which was like $5. I was really excited about this considering the fact that it feels so fine, and when you rub your fingers together to kind of like feel the consistency, it feels very smooth and very velvety. But I just feel like for people that have really dry skin, it's going to just look so dry. Like on me, even in the beginning, it looked very dry. You could definitely tell that I had product there. I do have to say I was really impressed with this brush. I like the fact that it is so soft and it blends really easily. But I feel like if you're a ride or die beauty sponge fan, you're not gonna wanna use the brush and you're probably not gonna get it. So I wouldn't get this unless you are willing to try something new and you're really open to it, or unless you haven't tried anything and you really want to try something different. Overall, I think I would give the concealer an 8 out of 10. It's definitely a really nice concealer, but I definitely don't feel like it's life-changing. I definitely feel like it could be better. I feel like for the price, it's a really good price. It's reasonably priced. And I would definitely recommend it if you're on the hunt for a new concealer. If you guys have tons of concealers, then I would say do not get it. There's no point, just use your concealers, and then if you're really interested, purchase it. But if you're on the hunt for a new concealer, I would definitely give this a try, especially if you're somebody that really wants that brightening effect on your under eyes. So those are all my final thoughts. If you guys have tried the KKW Beauty concealer sets, then please let me know what your thoughts are. So that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed watching it. It really would benefit me and it would help us grow our family here on YouTube. We're growing so quickly and it makes me so excited. You guys are the best. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then please go ahead and thumbs it up so I can continue doing my worth the buy or not videos. And that being said, I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.